Howdy, and welcome back to Celebrating Vintage Model Kits. We continue Midway week with a Japanese aircraft, in this case, the Aichi D3A1 Val. This is a kit from Airfix in 1/72nd scale. This is the initial release in 1965. It's kit number 294. We've got box art by the famous Roy Cross. The Val is also known as the Type 99 carrier bomber. It was famous for being the aircraft that sunk more Allied warships than any other Axis aircraft. At the Battle of Midway, the Val was the main dive bomber for the Japanese, for the Kido Butai. On the Akagi, there were 18. Kaga had 18. Hiryu had 18. And Soryu had 16. They participated in the first attack on the island of Midway, taking off at 0430. 36 Vals attacked the island. They were also involved in the first counterattack that came from the Hiryu, comprising of 18 Vals and 6 Zeros. They found the Yorktown by following retreating American aircraft. They were able to put 3 bombs into the Yorktown, which they thought had sunk it. Did some pretty good damage, but damage control on American carriers was pretty good at the time, and they were able to get Yorktown back underway. So much so that when the second wave from the Hiryu of the Kates, they thought that they were hitting a fully intact carrier, so they thought that they had sunk 2 carriers rather than they hadn't even sunk the Yorktown yet. That ultimately was sunk by a submarine. But in that attack, 13 of the 18 Vals were shot down by a combination of the Wildcats and the Cap, and by the pretty strong anti-aircraft response from the Yorktown and their accompanying ships. This attack was commanded by Lieutenant Michio Kobayashi. So that's some of the participation of the Val in the Battle of Midway. And let's take a look at the kit itself. And so we've got some pretty spectacular artwork on the cover here. Val's pulling out after a dive onto an aircraft carrier. This is actually representing the British aircraft carrier, the Hermes, which was sunk off of Ceylon. The British had the aircraft carrier in port, and they got word that the Kido Butai was coming across the Indian Ocean, so they sent it out of the port, so that way it could be safe. But it got spotted by reconnaissance aircraft from one of the Japanese warships, not from the carrier, and then they ended up sending something like I think 36, 46 Vals and some escort after it. The Hermes had no aircraft on it because they had put their air complement ashore when they were in port. So when they made the hasty retreat, they didn't have any aircraft on board. So the Hermes was just a sitting duck, and the Vals just blew the hell out of this aircraft carrier, as you can see, what's going on here. And, ultimately it sunk. So, we've got a little gunner on the back here. Made comment in one of the posts recently of, even though they just put a 250 kilogram bomb right through the center of the deck here, the gunner on the back still firing away at it as if the bomb wasn't enough. So this is the early 60s issue of the kit, and it's commonly referred to as a red stripe box because they've got the red stripe down here next to the name. On this side here, we've got it being shown as being a Series 2 aircraft. A couple other kits in the series. So you had a ME-110 and an Avro Anson. On this side, we've got another kit of the Hunter F6 and an IL-2 Sturmovik. And you can also see on here where there's this little perforation where this box could be hung on a hook. The end here, we've got Airfix 72, made in England. And on this side here, we've got the kit number of 294. Looks like we had an original price on this of $1.39. Yeah. Take a look at the inside here. So we've got, our instructions. These are printed on a little bit of slick paper here. There's one sheet. Pretty good history of the valve listed above here. A little bit of instructions, making sure to use Airfix paints and Airfix polystyrene cement. Step 1, put your guys on their little recliners. It's like a hook, tail hook there. Assemble your fuselage, pop your wings together, stick your horizontal tail surfaces on. Step 3, your landing gear, your bombs, dive brakes, tail wheel, and then finally stick your engine on and your transparencies. Got suggested color scheme on here. Matte black and matte light gray. So, pretty quick assembly. Got a copy of the usual, hey, you're missing some parts, send it in, we'll replace them. And here we've got our decals. Not much to them. Kind of yellowed. And this one here, this A1-201 is of an actual aircraft. So it's assigned to the Akagi, and the pilot for this one was a gentleman by the name of Zenji Abe, and he participated in the attack on Pearl Harbor, pretty much all the battles through the first 6 months of the war, except for Midway. So the one battle that he wasn't at, turned out to be one that was probably a good thing he wasn't at. So I was able to find some pictures from the Akagi of this of valves. Was not able to find this exact one, but I was able to find a picture of Zenji. So we'll show those to you here. Okay, let's take a look at the plastic next. So we'll look at the fuselage. So we've got typical 60s matchbox with pretty heavy rivets. Got quite a bit of sinkholes here. This one's actually literally a hole. And some divots across here. Those match up to the pins for where the pilots are going to be sitting. And a little bit of roughness on the bottom here as well. And as far as fit goes, let's see how we look here. So, very rough edge across here. No gaps, but the lineup is not the best. Fairly thin trailing edge, which is good. Got some good representation of fabric on there. Again, sinkholes on this side. So there's your fuselage. Then we have our wings. Similar again with this heavy rivet detail. Got a sinkhole where the locator pin's at. Another one up here. A little bit of flash around the edge. As far as fit goes, got a pretty thin trailing edge. And it's all raised lines with the exception of the aileron and flaps. The valve did have folding wingtips, which you can kind of see as being represented by just a slight extra line there. And here we've got molded on bomb rack on the outside wing. And let's see, here's one tree here. We've got the landing spats, landing gear and spats. Got some sinkholes where the pin is to hold the wheel. Some sinkholes where the other pins are. So, not the best molding. There's our pilot seat, tail hook. I think that's our bomb sight. This one here's got our bomb crutch. So our bomb has one piece. Tail wheel. We do have separate exhaust stacks, but they are solid, so you'd have to draw those out. And here's our air crew. Not the best in the world. Airfix usually do a little better, but these are not the best. A lot of flash on them as well too. And then we got their propeller. Propeller's not too bad. And there's our dive brake. Here's our other dive brake. And here's our engine and engine cowling. Got some detail inside there. We do have tiny little holes for the machine guns. And there's our horizontal tail surface. Again, heavy rivet detail. Got a little bit of fabric representation on there. And there's another seat. And there's our tires and wheels. And one thing that is pretty nice is that the canopy does give you the option of doing open and close, although it is a very, very poorly molded canopy. Typical of Airfix at this time period. The framing is, yeah, it is a little bit raised on there, but as you can see, it's pretty cloudy. Not the best in the world. And there's the other remaining piece. And good old trusty Airfix stand. So there you have it. Yeah, not a whole lot to this kit. Fairly simple. And yeah, for a long time this was about the only valve available, other than some of the Japanese kits that were extremely hard to get in the 60s. So this Airfix kit was about the only player for quite a while for most modelers. So this is the 65 issue, as mentioned before. They also did one in 67 in the U.S. under the Craftmaster series. They had same box art, which is surprising because most of the Craftmasters got new box art, but this one they retained the original box art. There was one in the 60s from Plasti of Germany. In 72, MPC did another U.S. release. That one came with a diorama set, so it was part of a Pearl Harbor set, and it had like a vacuform base that was supposed to represent Hickam Field. You got a set of U.S. Army soldiers, part of the Airfix plastic HO scale figures. They give you 48 of those to put on this little vacuum form base. There was another issue of this one, same artwork in 73. In 80, there's new box art. Another 80s issue through Airfix of Lodella. I didn't know that Lodella did some Airfix kits, but apparently they did in the 80s. There was a 97 Airfix, and 2011, and finally a 2021 issue. So that is a very long life for this kit. I wouldn't be surprised if this is something that maybe Airfix redoes at some point soon. But that's the kit. So this is a good little kit for the Val. Well, if you've built one of these, as usual, tell us about it in the comments section. If you got one sitting on your shelf, shoot some pictures of it, send it in. The email address is in the channel description. And thanks for watching. Hope you stick around for the rest of Midway week, and have yourself a great rest of your day.